Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome to the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm your host, Ben.
It's Carissa.
Hey, Carissa, how you doing? And everyone, welcome into today's program. So today on the show, we have none other than a company called Lutron. If you haven't heard about them, then hey, where have you been? They are one of the premier companies working with home automation, and you know it's going to be a lot of fun because we're talking about. I think a lot of people are very familiar with lights at this point, but hey, there's another source of light. Sunshine, and being able to control that with your phone or on a schedule, on a timer, all these kinds of things is I think going to change the way a lot of people use their common spaces in their homes. So everyone, we're going to be talking about that, as well as just a good overview of their other smart products as well. It's going to be a lot of fun and we're looking forward to it. But before we get to that, everyone, computeramerica.com, that's where you'll find everything, including a link to our guest website. So if you're driving, if you're busy, if you have your hands tied, then it's okay. First of all, we hope that you get free, and second of all, we hope that you can go over to our website and we'll have a link directly to it right there on our homepage. Also there you'll find reviews, articles, show notes, and podcasts, links to social media, all that and more. So anything that we do on Computer America, our website is probably the best way to find out about it. So everyone, before we get started, Carissa, how you doing? Everything going okay?
Yeah, pretty okay. Just hanging in there, getting ready for the day and stuff. Doing all right.
Perfect. So everyone, now let's go ahead and so we have Chris here, we have myself here. I want to go ahead and now bring on our guest, and she's waiting oh so patiently in the wings. It's none other than Melissa Andresko. She is the Chief Corporate Brand Ambassador for Lutron. And again, happy to have her back on the program to talk about the Serena line of products again, and this time, well, blinds. And hey, it's going to be a lot of fun. So everyone, welcome onto the show. Melissa, how you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for thank you for coming on. And so everyone out there, if you're watching the video portion, you can see myself, you can see Melissa, and of course you can see the website. So you can follow along, and we'll be sure to play things like product videos and things like that. But don't worry, we're still radio friendly, and it's going to be perfectly perfectly all well and good. So Melissa, I think a good place to start would be a quick overview of Lutron and Serena, and just kind of give us when this line of products was started and a bit of your background. When did you join the company?
Yeah, so I'll first introduce myself. So, thanks for the intro. I'm Melissa Andresko. I've actually been with Lutron for going on 23 years, which is a really long time. I've been here since 2 weeks after I graduated college. And as you mentioned, I'm the Chief Brand Ambassador for the company, super passionate about smart home. So I'm really excited to be here today to talk about the new Serena Shades and the Serena wood blinds specifically, and some of the other great things that Lutron is up to. For your listeners who might not be familiar with Lutron, thank you for that introduction. We have been in business for almost 60 years. 2021 will be our 60th anniversary as a company, and we're best known for really pioneering the way that people interact with light. So our founder invented the solid state dimmer back in the late 1950s, and we've been operating as a company since the early 60s. So really have seen tremendous growth in the 23 years that I've been here. But of course, as an industry, we've seen everything from those single light dimmers to today being able to automate every light, every shade, temperature, all the bells and whistles throughout an entire home or an entire building or even a campus.
That is very, very impressive. And of course, when you, and of course, when you consider, kind of what's been possible, what's easy to do nowadays. I mean, it used to be have to hardwired and all that good stuff. it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot easier, even for, I guess, even the casual homeowner to, kind of bring this into their home.
You're right. And for a long time, Lutron was very focused on those single light dimmers, things that you would buy at your home improvement centers. And then in the 1990s, we started introducing systems for the entire home. And obviously, over the last 30 years, those systems have changed dramatically in that they are now wireless, and there are now options available that you can do it yourself. So we've really tried to introduce, across the gamut of, that beginner kind of the DIY system for not every light in the home, but, certainly it can make up a good size system, to, systems that can go in homes that are 20, 30,000 square feet that are, of course, professionally designed and installed and will integrate with pretty much anything in the home. So it's a great variety, and we really pride ourselves on being able to offer products at all those different price points. Even those ones at retail that started under $20, great way to just create ambiance. And light is so important now in the home. We are spending so much more time in our homes these days that being able to multi-purpose rooms with, changing the intensity of the light, it's very important for people. Kitchens are now, doubling as not only the place where we're having family meals, but maybe it's where the kids are doing homework or people are doing Zoom calls. It's maybe doubling also as a home office. So being able to adjust that light is more important than ever.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, watching even like the evening news, and you'll see a lot of correspondents and reporters, kind of chiming in from their kitchens. It's been a very,
Yep.
I think it's been a very fun time to, inadvertently take a peek into their home. Obviously, they show what they want to show, the kitchen is definitely a big part of it. I mean, you yourself, you're using a green screen, obviously, right now, and I think that's that is one of those features that controlling the light in your room is so super important when it comes to using green screens. That natural light is one of the hardest things to control when it comes to setting up one of these things, and I'm sure that especially in your home, that being able to kind of block out even more light and doing so while you're busy working or doing interviews like these, very convenient.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, being able to just give people that flexibility is really more important than ever. So it's a great time to be a dimming company, being able to bring people, that magic now in their homes.
So let's talk about, and obviously, I think people are familiar with your switches and, kind of your outlets and all that good stuff. But I mean, a lot of lighting comes from light bulbs. They get smart light bulbs. They're independently controlled. They're by third-party companies left and right, and getting them all to work together is a headache and a half. But you have kind of moved beyond that now to shades. Why were shades, I guess, for Lutron, the next logical step in the lighting in someone's home? Like, why not, anything else to do with something that, why shades and not something else?
Yeah. So, Lutron has actually been in the motorized shade business since the 1990s as well. We actually introduced motorized shades in about mid-1990s when we were introducing those whole house systems that I spoke of. But the difference then was that they were very expensive, and they had to be really installed in the construction of a home. They were not easy to retrofit, and they were probably around $1,000 a window. So it was very much a product that was, for new construction and really for people with a lot of disposable income who could, bring that kind of product into the home. So back in the 2000s, we sort of took a step back as a company and said, the benefits that people get from motorized shades are really, those are benefits that any size home can enjoy. So some of the reasons why people are using them is to avoid glare on the TV screen, or to create privacy, or maybe it's a hard to reach window, and being able to turn the knob for mini blinds just isn't possible. So we took a step back and said, these are problems that every home has, not just the 10,000 square foot homes and above. So we took a step back and we said, okay, let's figure out how to bring a shading product to market that can be installed in any home. So it has to be, easy to install. It doesn't have to have wires. And let's make it at a price point that we can, most people can afford it. So we introduced what was called the Serena Shade, and it started out as a honeycomb, and they are battery powered. And so you can now install this battery powered shade in any window, and it comes in, lot of good size range. So it can really fit most size windows. And basically, now you are able to solve a problem for, under $500 a window. So we've expanded that line throughout the last 15, 20 years to fast forward to today. What we're here to talk about is the new wood blinds in the Serena family. So it's really been an exciting journey where everything in between, we've gone from honeycombs to roller shades, Roman shades, all with this battery powered technology. So, doesn't have to be thought of in that construction phase, can be great in an existing home where you're just looking to make an upgrade. And again, super simple DIY project, but of course, help is always a phone call away. So
Right.
we're excited. We think it's really helped revolutionize a lot of people's homes, giving them that ability to control natural light.
I think you gave a good introduction to it. And since you mentioned it, why don't we go ahead and give an overview of what separates, I guess, kind of the smart wood blinds from, from some of your previous products. And yeah, let's just get talking about your new product.
Yeah, so the smart wood blinds was really the next evolution for the Serena family. I mentioned that we've got roller shades, we've got Roman shades, we've got honeycombs, and every home likes a different style. So wood blinds, it's a very beautiful, very traditional look. You can see there it comes in a few different wood finishes. But what's so magical about the wood blind is that it has a feature called natural light optimization. And so essentially, obviously it is a smart shade, so controllable through the free Lutron app on your smart device. So when you're setting up your shade, it's going to use the compass in your phone to figure out where you're located. And when it does that, it's then going to say, okay, we know now your sunrise and sunset times, and those wood blinds are going to automatically adjust throughout the day so that they're going to stay a step ahead of the light. So a very common reason for people wanting to put these devices on windows is because, nobody wants that harsh sunlight beating down on their floors all day or their furniture or, artwork on the wall. So being able to, continually have these shades tilting so that the sun is never quite giving you that direct stream, it's really quite genius. I mean, it's a wonderful benefit. And we find that, people are still being able to obviously enjoy their view. The blinds are still, open. You can still see what's going on outside, but it's just tilting slightly so that, you're not getting that harsh glare.
So you could take this even to its next logical step, and I'm just kind of curious how far you took the technology with this. So you're saying that it's not even like the sun is shining, so they're all the way down, or they're half down. You're actually controlling, I guess, the tilt of the blinds throughout the day, and it's not even just like either up or down. It's controlled to even a better degree than that.
That's correct. Yeah. So it's going to be a really precise degree of openness and closedness throughout the day. So it's very much not an all open or all closed. You're going to be able to still have that sunlight coming in, just not that direct glare right onto your TV or your floor or what have you.
So, and then the next one would be if it can tell all that, and I'm sure that you're using, I should probably ask you, I assume that you're pulling it from, let's say, weather.gov or something like that. When you were talking about sunset times and things like that, I mean, do you pull, do you have like a database that's just, like this time of year, this is when sunset, sunrises, and all the data is pulled from you guys? Or you mentioned that it's from people's phones. What kind of information do you kind of access when you have this app on the phone and it's controlling this?
It basically is just looking for your latitude and longitude so that it knows where the home is that it needs to be controlling. We're not looking into the home or anything like that. It's just basically, and by the way, that is something that you have to opt into. You can certainly use the smart shades without sharing your location. You just won't be able to have that same feature. But if you do feel comfortable sharing the latitude and longitude of your location, then you'll be able to enjoy the natural light optimization feature. But yeah, once it knows your latitude and longitude, it knows how to adjust appropriately throughout the year.
Very, very cool. And even beyond that, though, I guess that just kind of answers my question where, let's say, there are weather apps on every phone that come standard. And I was kind of wondering if it knows that there's a cloudy day, then it wouldn't be as aggressive with the blind tilt. But I'm guessing that it's, kind of automated. And hey, if it's cloudy, there's probably not that much light to direct anyways. So I'm guessing current weather does not affect this programming whatsoever.
I'm actually not 100% sure about that. I would have to get back to you. I'm not sure
surprised.
How the current weather affects that.
I would be surprised if it did, because that would be another very nitpicky little thing that I'm thinking. But, again, maybe the blinds behave differently in full light rather than cloudy or rainy day, things like that. But again, I would be surprised if they operated like that. So no problem there. So, just real quick, you made it sound very simple, but let's say someone downloads the Lutron's Facade Finder. Walk us through the setup process for doing this in someone's home.
Yeah, so the Lutron app is a free app that's available for both Android and iOS devices. And essentially, once you go in, and a lot of times people will use the Serena wood blinds or any Serena Shade for that matter in conjunction with other Lutron smart devices. So typically you'll see it used with either the Caseta by Lutron smart lighting kit or the Raw2 Select smart lighting control system. So if you're using it with the Caseta system, again, you would already then have the app, but if you are downloading it for the first time, it's a very simple, 2 or 3 screen prompts to just get you all set up and going and then setting your preferences. Because the other thing that's nice too is you still have direct control of those blinds. Just because it's being optimized by what's going on outside, I still can go over and let's say I want to watch a movie during the day and my wood blinds are still open slightly. I still have, direct control to close them or open them. So that's the really nice thing too, is that I can still override any of those functions directly. And it also integrates with Amazon and Google smart speakers. So I can also integrate those into voice commands as well to open and close my wood blinds. So lots of different ways for people to be able to control the product. But again, setup is very simple through the app. We always make sure that our apps are intuitive, that they are simple. It's not going to be, 25, 26 button presses to get to your desired result. It's a very simple couple setup steps, and you'll be on your way within, really 5 or 6 minutes.
Perfect. And one of those pieces of technology that makes this happen is the Lutron's Smart Bridge Hub. Can you kind of explain what that is and how that works? Because I think that a lot of people are currently thinking that it's, blinds connected to Wi-Fi, and then Wi-Fi, being on the same Wi-Fi network with your phone would let you control them. But I'm guessing that this Smart Bridge Hub is more of the brains that lets you control more than just one device at a time.
Yeah, so the Lutron Smart Bridge is required for making the Serena, any of the Serena Shades or wood blinds smart, or the Caseta by Lutron system to function. So essentially, it is a box that you said acts as the brains of the system, and it plugs right into your Wi-Fi router. So that's really what's going to connect you to your home when you are away. And that's really how the system is going to operate. So it simply plugs right into your Wi-Fi router. It's a very simple setup. Again, that will be your first step in the Lutron app. So assuming that you don't have a Caseta system and you're setting these up for the first time, you would, plug in your Smart Bridge. It'll prompt you in the Lutron app to enter, the code that's on the bottom of the bridge. It'll take a few minutes to, locate the device. And then really it'll take you through those prompts very, very quickly. And again, you'll be up and running in no time. But yeah, the the bridge is required to make all of these systems, smart, and it is the brain.
Now, last time that that Lutron was on the show, I think we also talked about smart lighting and some of the other solutions. But you also have things like security cameras and things like that. Are they different bridges, or one for lighting, one for cameras, one for or is it just one bridge for all Lutron devices?
So Lutron actually doesn't make any cameras. We interface with Ring cameras. But we do not make any of our own cameras. So it's the same smart bridge for the Serena Shades and wood blinds as it is for the Caseta by Lutron smart lighting system.
That was it.
So if you have both products in your home, it's just one bridge.
I got you. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. And of course, looking through the material that is all available on your website, very easy to find. Voice control, and I think that a lot of people have either opted into their systems. They've chosen their sides in this battle, and of course, there's Google, there's Amazon, and Apple HomeKit to a lesser extent, and a couple of others. Which ones do you support with Serena?
Yeah, so it's Amazon and Google that we support with Serena.
Gotcha. And of course Siri, but not with smart blinds as of this moment. So in that
correct.
Here. So yeah, and of course, can you give us some examples of what and feel free not to use the key phrase because our listeners always complain whenever we do that it activates theirs. But give us some examples of how people might use voice control for their blinds.
Yeah, sure. So one of the more common applications would be to tie it into a routine or a theme. So for example, in the morning, I could say the A word and say, turn on good morning. And when I say turn on good morning, it will trigger lights to turn on to certain levels. It will open up my shades or my blinds to a certain level. It might turn on my Sonos music in certain rooms. So it really just kind of gets your day going. And again, those are all completely customizable, as I'm sure you and your listeners are aware. So, customized to your preferences, to, whatever rooms you want, whatever levels you want. So the same can be said for, let's say, when we all used to be able to entertain, you could also set up an entertain scene and, use that same phrase to trigger an entertain scene where, again, maybe lights are now changing in multiple rooms of the home, and maybe some outside lights are turning on. So again, a very convenient way to give you that whole house control with just the sound of your voice. Or you could certainly do that individual control. Let's say you are on the couch and you don't have the remote nearby, or you don't want to open up your phone. You could certainly just tell one of your smart speakers to adjust your smart wood blinds using your voice.
No, it's you make it sound very, very simple. And so, and of course, because wood blind is different than honeycomb and rollers and things like that, talk about some of the, what went into designing these, because obviously, honeycomb, they're very efficient when it comes to trapping the air between the honeycomb and making sure that that excess heat doesn't get into your home and things like that. But stylish, some would argue, and I guess fitting more people's homes. Was that the goal of the wood blinds? Was that, you want to meet people design wise, kind of halfway, so that they don't have to go elsewhere for different looks?
Yeah, Lutron is, since our founding in 1961, our first company principle is always to take care of the customer. So as a very customer-centric company, we are always talking to our customers, talking to homeowners, interior designers, architects, to understand, what could we be doing differently, better? What more could we be offering in our lines to, get you that total control that you're looking for, or to give you the style that you're looking for. So we're very conscious of the types of requests that come in from our customers, whether it's, new product requests, whether it's new color options, or in this case, the, Serena wood blind. We did not have a wood blind option. It's a very beautiful, very traditional look and feel. And, for some homes, that is the preferred look. So again, we wanted to be able to give people an option that would suit any style preference, so that they could easily enjoy the benefits of smart shades, regardless of their decor and home style.
And then, of course, for everyone out there watching the video portion, I'm kind of going through a fake scenario of getting these things. And, you have different mounting options. You have powered versus wired versus that kind of thing. Really taking a lot of the assumptions out of, taking them out of the equation. And I guess when you, kind of get to other Valence style. So, let's say. Oh, yeah, and of course it comes down to color, things like that. You have a number of options. Sometimes when we have smart home companies here on the program, they try to be stylish and design-wise. I mean, everything looks like it'll match your iPhone beautifully, but you have a number of different options that should fit a lot of people's homes.
We do, and that's really very important to the company. Lutron's founder always believed that our products should be as beautiful and intuitive on the outside as they are functional on the inside. And he would always talk about this philosophy of designing from the outside in. So let's make sure that we're giving people first and foremost the look and the feel that they want, something that they're going to, love having in their home. And then let's put the technology behind it. So, when you look at the other Serena products that we have, when it comes to our roller shades, our Roman shades, our draperies, we offer hundreds of different options. So again, it's really such a personal choice and an investment in your home that we want to make sure people are really getting the look and the style that they want. So Lutron takes a lot of pride in being able to give people so much choice and really making sure that they're going to find a product that, doesn't detract from the look of their room, but blends in and it just, becomes part of the room and the space around them.
Right. And then, of course, you also offer some of your other products within the line that will work with this product as well. We're looking at like the vacancy sensor. So I'm assuming that, if it detects someone, you can possibly even have a scene or have a setting to maybe open the blinds when someone is in the room or, close them when someone.
That's correct. Yes.
Very, very cool.
And you can also, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
The integration. No, I was just gonna say the integration is great. When you tie the Serena wood blinds into, like I said, the Caseta smart home system, for example, which again, very, and I think we've talked about that system before, but really a great entree into smart lighting. You can get a system for under $200 to really get you started. But one of the great features of that system is something called Smart Away. And that can tie in your Lutron smart shades and your smart wood blinds. So, a Smart Away, essentially, let's say I'm leaving for the weekend, I can hit the Smart Away feature in the Lutron app, and it's going to randomize devices in my home for a set period of time every night. So it's not going to be that classic Home Alone scene where the timers come on every night at, 6:05 or whatever. It's going to, randomize lights and shades, and the Lutron shades are absolutely part of that. So if you're driving by on Friday night, at 7:10 p.m., you might see a blind opening, but the next night it might be, 8:11 p.m. and the shades are now closing. So really great way to give you more of that peace of mind when you're away from home.
And mixing with some of the other security features, especially like smart speakers have, where you can actually have them play like fake conversations, like people talking through your smart speakers. You can make a very convincing kind of security setting so that it looks like your home is currently occupied as opposed to vacant, especially as people for the holidays. I think that this holiday season is going to be a little bit different with people traveling, but still, some people will be leaving their home, and a feature like that would be very, like you said, that Home Alone scene, just where he was just pointing from house to house to house as they were flipping.
Right.
So, and of course, for someone, I know that I had to change every blind in my home a couple of years ago before we sold a previous home. Changing blinds, not the hardest thing in the world. It's, you need two sets of hands, but it's not too complicated. When it comes to smart blinds, is the installation any different? Is it more complicated? Can an average homeowner do this themselves?
100% installing a smart shade or smart blind is definitely a DIY product. And we always tell people, if you've ever measured your windows for mini blinds, you can absolutely measure and install Serena smart shades and smart blinds. And, you know, one of the benefits of using Lutron, we have a 24/7 free technical support that is regionalized. So if you're calling from the US, you're going to get somebody in the US. If you're calling from outside the US, you'll get somebody that's closer to where you call home. So, you know, you've got local support, a free phone call away. And, you know, people sometimes tell us like, like I'm a little nervous to measure. What if I mess it up? You know, we will actually work with you. If you measure it and you get it home and it's a couple inches short, give us a call and we will get a new set of product out to you. And, you know, we'll make sure that it's going to fit your window. But we've got a lot of great tools on the website, serenashades.com, to help you through the process to figure out, do you want an inside mount? Do you want it to mount over the window? You know, how far down do you want it to come? How wide? So, you know, we've really tried to your point, take the guesswork out of it and make it as easy for people as possible, because this is a new category for a lot of people. And, you know, measuring, you know, obviously a couple $100 investment, people want to make sure that they get it right. So, again, though, a pro is always a phone call away. We do have a network of installation professionals across the country who can certainly do it for you. And truthfully, even your local handy person could do it as well. Installing it is very, very simple. We tell people that when you do one the first time, until you get the hang of it, the first one will probably take you 20, 25 minutes till you make sure you're drilling the holes properly and get it mounted. After that, it becomes a lot simpler, and most people can probably do it in around 10 minutes or so.
It's and again, as someone who has installed blinds, it's really not complicated at all. And I got to say, just because you seem so knowledgeable on the technology behind this, I wanted your just immediate reaction about the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But in specifically, they have a new feature with the camera of the 12 Pro Max, which is LiDAR, and it's not as good as tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, but it's like a 3D scanning type system where it can actually measure a space in 3D real time. And obviously, you have an app. It's totally integrated. No one even has the 12 Pro Max yet, but do you think maybe sometime in the future you might have it so that the phone can measure windows and window openings by themselves if the 12 Pro Max LiDAR type system kind of works as advertised?
Yeah, I am not familiar with all the nuts and bolts of what Apple's offering, so I'd be a little crazy to speculate on that. That would certainly be a wonderful benefit for people, but without knowing the type of technology that they're using, it would be really hard for me to say if that would be any kind of possibility for us.
Yeah, and just showing here on the video portion, just an example of a gentleman, kind of measuring a fire hydrant with his phone app, and he's just kind of turning around, and it's identifying the space and kind of covering it with kind of that LiDAR material. But thank you for being so upfront and honest about that. But I personally am, very. It could be a very fun way to kind of measure windows, but obviously a tape measure, kind of hard to mess that one up. So that might be the way to go. So.
Yeah, stick with the tried and true for now.
For sure. So with that being said, you've been mentioning that, in some cases, a couple $100 here. People have been doing this before because it used to be, we had a home automation in the mid 2000s, and that cost an arm and a leg. That was not fun. Nowadays, it's much more affordable. And like you said, this may be people's first foray into this because it has gotten to the point where it's pretty affordable. Talk about price points and specifically for, let's say, the wood blinds.
Yeah. So, of course, every product will be custom to your window size, to your selection of material, what kind of controls you want to have to go with it. But a good starting point, I'd say, is around $5.99 for a 3-foot by 5-foot window. Other smart shades in the Serena family come in at around $3.99 or so. So just, again, depending on, what your what your design preferences and your window size. It's going to be very custom, but those are some good starting prices. And again, you can add the Pico remote so that you can always override whatever's going on. Voice isn't always an option, right? If people are sleeping and you need to adjust your window coverings, you're not going to most likely shout out a voice command. So again, if you don't feel like opening up your app, you can use the Pico wireless remote to override and control your lights or open any of your shades and blinds. But you said something interesting, if you don't mind, I'd love to touch on. But,
Sure.
You talked about how smart home has become so, the price points have gone down so significantly. And I mean, I told you the story of how, Lutron went from $1,000 plus per window to, a few hundred. But, I think as an industry too, it's very interesting to me to see how much more accepted smart home is becoming. And obviously we're seeing this part of the market just, take off as an industry. And I think that people are getting to the point where smart home is no longer gadgety, but these are problem solvers. And, Lutron did a study a year ago, and we asked people about their window covering habits. And 30% of the people we talked to said that they leave their window coverings closed 100% of the time because it just wasn't convenient to reach it. It wasn't something they were able to open and close easily. And especially for people with limited mobility or people who are perhaps, wheelchair bound, being able to give people the freedom to have sunlight streaming into their home using a remote that you can attach, to a wheelchair, put it next to your bed. It's very empowering. And we love hearing stories of how smart home technology is bringing freedoms that people thought maybe were once lost, bringing that back to them. And I love that the smart home industry is heading in that direction where we are now really about solving problems. And I think these blinds are another really good case of a problem solving opportunity.
Yeah, and personally, just the way that our home had to be or was built, and it's just that we purchased the home and it was built in like 2000 or something like that. It was wired completely for home automation. Like the lights wouldn't work unless you had home automation. We were forced into it. So when nowadays with Lutron and all this other kind of thing, it kind of like sits on top. It's all wireless. It's all, it all just works. You can swap things in and out. You don't have to tear down walls just to replace something. It's very nice that the industry is coming to the consumer as opposed to like the consumer having to build an entirely new home from scratch to get this kind of technology in.
Yeah, for sure. And to your point, we've tried to make it as easy as possible. You don't have to tear apart walls. You don't have to rip out windows. You don't have to put battery-powered shades in when the home is being built. It's very easy to install at any time and grow as your needs change and your budget allows. I mean, that's really the beauty of having wireless devices is, with the Caseta by Lutron system, you could start with that starter kit that's under $200. And then once you see the benefits of it and you want to add a couple more spaces, it's just very easy to add on. So really simple for people to make that possible.
Yeah, I was going to say that obviously the holidays are coming up, and maybe for an unconventional gift, because let's face it, during the past 10 months or so, home improvement has been one of the most popular things that people are doing because they are valuing their home living space more and more because they're spending more and more time in it. Maybe as an unconventional gift, being able to if nothing else, like maybe one window in the bedroom or maybe one window in the living room, kind of just introduce the idea and take control of lighting, at least in one space in the home. Do you think that would be a neat gift idea?
I do. And to your point, maybe it's for somebody who has a home office, somebody who has an uncertain future of when they're going back to an office or if they're going back to an office and they're going to be in a home space more permanently, or maybe their work setup has always been a more permanent work from home style. But, it's a great, not only is it an investment in the home, but, again, it's solving a problem. It's making interviews like this easy because we're using just our ring lights and we're blocking out the sunlight at the moment. So, it's a great gift idea. And, for those people with limited mobility, great gift idea for parents, parents who maybe are, aging in place. Great way to introduce automation without it being overwhelming or daunting. Again, pressing a button to be able to let light stream in and out of the space. I think it's a great gift idea.
Oh, and just one quick thing, because I'm looking at all the different fabric options and wood options that you have. If someone were to replace the material, the blinds of the system itself, is that possible, or do they only work with balance wise maybe with Serena products?
So if you want to provide your own fabric, Lutron can do that, but it is more for the next step up in our shading solutions, which would not be in the Serena family. It's the next shading family called Savoya QS Shades. We can do customer-owned provided material in that collection. We do offer, like I said, hundreds of different options. So hopefully somebody would find one that's suitable for them, but
I'm also thinking like maybe a little bit down the road where, the style, once they want to change the style or something like that, would they just go back to, Serena and pick a different fabric, or can they go somewhere else and use a different product from another company?
You would have to come back to Lutron for that. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. No, perfectly said. And so I think with that, man, I'm having trouble thinking about anything that we didn't cover. I think we have this covered pretty well. Is there anything that you think we should mention before we wrap this up?
Just, I guess one other news note from Lutron would be the new integration with Ring, which is very exciting. I know you did mention cameras earlier, and I did, just quickly allude to it. But, if we're talking all things, cool and new from Lutron, Lutron and Ring did announce an alliance. So now, your Caseta by Lutron system or the Raw2 Select system from Lutron can work with any Ring doorbell or camera. So if your camera, indoor or outdoor camera, detects motion, you can program for certain lights to turn on. Or if somebody rings the doorbell, you can program for other lights to come on. Completely customizable in terms of what lights are coming on for what motion. But it's great. I have it working in my home, and it's again, going back to that peace of mind story, it's really a game changer. So we're excited to be working with Ring. We announced that back in September. So it's a fairly new alliance for us, but we've been getting great feedback from our customers so far about that added peace of mind.
Yeah, that's I'm very pleased when companies, they don't try to be everything for everyone. Obviously, Ring by Amazon is I was going to use the word incumbent. Too much politics lately. A lot of people have Ring already. So working with their system instead of trying to get people to replace the technology that they already have, very smart idea. And again, you just get to stick with what Lutron is good at, and that's lighting, and being able to do that. It's how has the reception been? You said you had in your home. Has it? Is it one of those things that you tried and you're like, man, it just makes so much sense. It just makes so much sense.
I think, yeah. I think for me, I used to travel a lot, and I would rely on. I'd be answering my Ring doorbell from the beaches in the Caribbean or over in Europe. It was always kind of fun to do that. Unfortunately, we're not traveling these days, but yeah, the peace of mind. And again, I think when you go back and you see how smart home is really solving problems. I think, Ring has obviously carved out quite a niche for itself in terms of, kind of taking over this, smart doorbell and smart camera market. And to be able to add even more benefit to Ring users and even more benefit, to Caseta users who might be new to Ring or who might have both products, to be able to now link them together and really just surround yourself with light and making sure that the power of light is being used to, create that safe, welcome home environment, to, create this peace of mind environment when someone, is caught moving on your camera. I think these days everybody, is looking for that extra peace of mind. So we're really excited to be working with them, and yeah, like I said, the feedback so far from our customers has been very, very positive.
Home security aside, the convenience and also the fact that everything just works together. That is, I think for anyone tackling some of these home automation projects, and they scream at themselves, I wish these just work together. You're making that happen. So great thing to touch on.
And it really is that easy. It really is that easy. When you open up the Lutron app, you're really literally on the second screen that you see, it'll say, works with Ring. And you'll be able to link your Ring devices with one press of a button. So very simple to make it work together.
Perfect. And yeah, that's thank you for mentioning that. That was we did say that back in September, but yeah, clearly that you have not been on the show since then. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And yeah, Lutron is not taking the pandemic, you're not just kind of doing what you were doing beforehand. You're continuing to innovate, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited, and our customers need us now more than ever as they continue to improve their homes. So we're excited to keep rolling out new products and innovation. So stay tuned for another exciting 2021.
Perfect. And of course, if people want to find out more information, we have a link to our website, but just for everyone, where can they go?
Lutron.com is a great place to start, or specifically for the shade, you can go to Serena, SERENA, shades.com.
Perfect. And everyone, there we go. So we have been talking to, I'm sorry, wow, my head's everywhere. So we have been talking to Miss Melissa Andresko. She is the Chief Corporate Brand Ambassador for Lutron. And thank you for coming back on the show. And this was a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do in 2021. And obviously, CES is not really going to be CES this year. It's going to be an online. There will be, kind of announcements, and I think people are going to try to make the most of it. But we'll be keeping an eye out for any kind of press releases you have when it comes to CES as well. So we'll be in touch.
Awesome. All right. Stay tuned.
All right. Perfect. Thanks so much. And now we're going to unceremoniously kick you out of the call. But thank you for joining us. And we'll have you back. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everyone. So let's go ahead and continue on. We are going to go ahead and do computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Computer America. And yeah, there we go. Our guest is gone. And hey, it's just Carissa had to step away as well, of course. So everyone, hey, sit back, relax. We're going to do computer and technology news brought to you by Computer America. Here we go. Let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and start talking about some stuff. This one is, let's see, I think I have it here. This is a pretty big one because it seems like Europe is really kind of the go-to watchdog when it comes to protections, I guess, for customers and for not just protections, but antitrust suits. All of them come out of Europe. The United States has not gotten up the courage to take on large tech companies. So here we are. Let's go ahead and talk about this one real quick. Europe charges Amazon with using its dominance and data to squeeze rivals. And it's unfortunately something that Amazon is uniquely able to do. They have the ability to not just, because obviously Amazon, like, this wouldn't even be a problem, but Amazon has the platform that everyone sells on. Everyone goes to Amazon. They have such a huge market share. It's kind of like what Walmart does. But, much like Walmart, Amazon has their own line of products. I think they're like Amazon Basics or something like that. They have their own line of products. And so what they were accused of, if I'm recalling, this was like a couple of months ago, this came out, was that Amazon was looking at products that were being sold and sold really well on their platform. And because the way the platform was set up, they had to, how do you put it? every company that sells has to include not how it's made, but what is included in the product, what materials were used in the manufacturing of this product. One would assume for safety reasons, or one would assume for, whatever reason we may have for safety. And Amazon was then going, here's how much this costs to make, here's how much this costs to produce, here's how much this costs to do XYZ. The profit margin is X, and therefore, if we want to get into this market, Amazon Basics quickly captures almost every market share that they get into. If they sell a thumb drive, if they sell a lampshade, if they sell headphones or something like that, Amazon Basics quickly become one of the top selling products because, hey, they can recommend it highly within their own search results. So that's where Amazon is getting hit, I believe. They are making products that they're making products with information that no one else but themselves have. And they're doing so in a very anti-competitive way. Very competitive if you're Amazon, very anti-competitive if you are just trying to provide the best product that you can for for their customers. But, let's just face it, you don't have the manufacturing power and the investment behind Amazon. Amazon can afford to manufacture anything themselves. So how are you as an independent seller going to compete? Now, let's go and talk about this. So the regulator looked into how the company collects data on competitors that sell on its platform, offering everything from electronics to toys to food to kitchenware. It says that Amazon uses that sensitive information, which shows that it is proving popular or not, to better target its own products. Again, if a certain an umbrella style is very popular, then hey, Amazon Basic Umbrella is probably coming and it's going to look very similar. They said that to use these data, the use of these data, this data allows Amazon to focus on the sale of the best-selling products, and it marginalizes third-party sellers and caps their ability to grow because Amazon gets to see what works. Third-party sellers take the initiative and take the risk, and then Amazon gets to benefit from that. Some could argue the same thing happens in software whenever there's like a must-have app or a must-have whatever app may be out there. And then let's say Apple's like, wow, that's such a great app. And instead of dealing with them directly, they just take the idea for the app for themselves. So it happens quite often. It's just in this case, Amazon's doing it to a point that is probably a little bit more egregious. So Vestager, who has a reputation for being one of the world's toughest antitrust enforcers, said that the regulators had to ensure that dual-role platforms with market power, such as Amazon, do not distort competition. And I think what they mean by dual-role means that they are not just the platform, but they are also the seller, saying that Amazon represents less than 1% of the global retail market, and there are larger retailers in every country that we operate. That is what Amazon is asserting to the EU. They're less than 1% of the global retail market. Could you imagine if Amazon was actually 1% of global retail market? That would be every thrift store, every food chain, everything that would be retail, and 1 out of every 100 of those basic transactions was Amazon. That would be impressive, but still Amazon is by far one of the largest market shares of any individual company out there. So the charges are the latest example of how watchdogs around the world, led by Europe, are grappling with the challenges of big tech. And obviously the final EU decision could come next year. Amazon faces being fined up to 10% of its global turnover if found to be guilty of breaching antitrust rules. However, it can avoid a hefty penalty and a finding of wrongdoing by offering concessions to settle. So they can settle or they can drag this out, fight this out. But it has been long known that Amazon does that for its Amazon Basic products. They don't want to, they definitely do that. And yeah, so it is what it is. Okay. So there is that story. Let's go ahead and move on to some harder tech, some hardware. And Micron, they have been doing storage for as long as anyone. Check this one out here. I am so impressed at the improvements that Micron has made, saying that they want to kill hard disk drives with new super cheap flash memory. So solid state drives, if this comes to fruition, this is going to be the end of traditional hard drives, because SSDs currently have nearly every metric except storage space. I mean, even there, one could argue like tape drives are even better than traditional hard drives. But yeah, storage space, you can still get, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20 terabytes for just like a couple $100, as opposed to 20 terabytes of SSD. You're going to be paying much more than that. So Micron, though, may have an improvement, saying that they have a breakthrough in their NAND flash storage. The new chip offers a 37% improvement on its nearest competitor, which will be Western Digital's 112-layer BIC S5. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, Micron has unveiled the next generation 176-layer 3D NAND. So we have crammed, we're talking like we're on like the Micron level, or Micron is the company that makes it. We are on like the atomic level when it comes to actually designing these chips. Like, atom by atom, we are storing as much data within the electrons as we possibly can. But the improvements at this point are coming from layering them and making sure that whatever kind of way that we access the different layers, they can all be read in sequence and everything stored perfectly. So layering the hard drive is nothing new when it comes to solid state. It's more of how many layers, how compactly can we get them, and again, they have to fit that 3.5, 2.5 inch form factor. Micron seems to be at the head of that, saying that the new NAND will improve both read and write latency by more than a third compared to the last generation's 96-layer floating gate NAND, which means faster and cheaper solid-state drives. They also claim to offer a die that's 30% smaller than its competitive offerings and hits a whopping 1.6 gigatransfers per second, which, by the way, is about 1600 MT per second. And they also mentioned on the Open NAND Flash Interface Bus a double-digit improvement on past generations. And, well, they said that they are ready in volume production and shipping to customers, including Micron's own crucial SSD product line. So they're ready to go. They're ready to produce things. It's not just like this is what they did in the lab and, it's okay. No, they are ready to ship these, and yeah, SSDs are going to change for the better here in the near future. For those of you who don't know, the 100 terabyte exadrive DC SSD, the largest solid-state drive currently on the market, currently uses a 64-layer SLC NAND, which explains its eye-watering price of about $40,000. Now, for comparison, the cheaper exadrive NL 64 terabytes, so instead of 100 terabytes, you're looking at 64 terabytes, you're looking at about $10,000. So it's less than twice the storage space, but you're looking at 4 times the cost. It's about half the cost per terabyte. So this means that the new technology could either mean more SSD for your money, means, possibly you're looking at, double-digit improvements in volume, speed, all that kind of thing. Maybe you get that 100 terabytes for $10,000 or far lower price points. Ultimately, the firm wants to drive aggressive industry-leading cost reductions that hopefully trickle down to the end user. And yeah, I think that they are going to be one of, if not the only competitive one when it comes to this kind of thing. I mean, Micron will lease its products to other companies, but if they do the research and development, if they get this to work, SSDs when it comes to storage space have been improving like crazy. So I am not at all surprised by what it is they're able to accomplish here. Very cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing how big these SSDs are going to become. So, everyone, hey, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Computer America. Thank you to Lutron again for joining us on the show. And if you want to find out more, computeramerica.com or, of course, serenashades.com as well to see for yourself what it is we talked on the air with Lutron ourselves. Everyone, have a great day. Thanks so much. We will see you here tomorrow. We should have Sandy Berger on the program. And everyone, have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.